Whoa, wait a minute. Before you start watching the rest of the video, I'd like to remind you we're talking about the new God of War game here. That means we'll discuss some potential spoilers. I repeat, spoilers! Spoilers incoming! So viewer discretion advised ? Just don't blame me. I don't want to get axed by an angry God of War mob. Get it? Axed? I've done it now, haven't I? God of War Ragnarok delivers a beautiful finale for Kratos' character, who is now destined to become a beloved god among all in Midgard, as he strives to rebuild the wreckage created by Ragnarok. However, God of War Ragnarok does leave the door open for future games in the series, this time with Atreus as the primary character as he prepares to venture out of Midgard in search of the surviving giants. Atreus' journey from God of War in 2018 until the end of God of War Ragnarok has seen him develop into one of the series' most sympathetic characters, often emphasizing with those who try to harm him or those closest to him. Fans will be anxious to follow his development into a mighty god now that he has left Kratos' side to begin his own adventure. While neither Santa Monica Studio nor Sony have confirmed a future game in the franchise, fans will be hoping for a fresh region packed with uncharted places and new gods. Atreus journeys to Ironwood in God of War Ragnarok and meets Angerboda, the first giant he meets after his mother dies. While many of the giants died or decided to have their souls transferred to an orb, Atreus learns in Ironwood that a handful chose to flee Midgard and seek safety in remote regions. I mean, looking at it like that could imply that a future series spin-off could focus on Atreus' new journey to discover the surviving giants and possibly return them to Midgard or their home in Jotunheim. 2018's God of War hinted at the possibility of the series moving over to a different land by showing symbols from other mythologies. With Kratos seemingly set to remain in Midgard as a beloved god, the hinted mythologies could be explored by Atreus. This would mean that future games in the series could even completely step away from Kratos, and instead follow the life of Atreus as he learns what it means to be a god and a giant. Some of the best combat missions in God of War Ragnarok came when playing Atreus, since it provided a new perspective on how to play the game. Atreus, unlike his father, prefers ranged warfare, especially since his primary weapon is a bow, and when he wants to come up close and personal, he just swings his bow to harm adversaries. However, if Atreus is going to be traveling other areas and presumably encountering other formidable foes, he will want a new melee weapon to keep up. While Atreus is extremely skilled at using the bow, there are certain situations where melee weapons will be required. And with Kratos no longer around to fill this role, Atreus should be given a new weapon. Whether it is a simple weapon like a sword or something more meaningful, like Leifatine, the weapon forged by Loki in mythology, he will need a more powerful weapon if he is to fight other gods. Since there is no information on how the gods from these other regions will react towards an outsider, Atreus will need to be ready to face any challenge. Sindri is arguably Atreus' closest buddy aside from his father at the start of God of War Ragnarok, with the dwarf assisting Atreus in learning more about the giants by following him as he explores the many shrines across Midgard. Sindri was his typical self for much of the game, assisting Kratos and Atreus on their adventure whenever they come across one of his workshops, and even acting as Atreus' companion on occasion. Sindri's entire mentality alters following Brok's death at the hands of Odin, as he begins to hate both Kratos and Atreus for his brother's death. Even after the events of Ragnarok, when Sindri hesitantly supported Kratos and Atreus, he's still left without saying anything, given the impression that he has abandoned any friendship he previously had with the boy. Sindri, like Freya at the start of God of War Ragnarok, could re-emerge in a future game starring Atreus, foiling his intentions and attempting to exact retribution for his brother's death. With all of his tricks up his sleeve and his past relationship with Atreus, he would be an interesting character for Atreus to face. And he might even redeem himself and acquire Sindri as a follower. God of War Ragnarok turns the series on its head with an ending that sees Atreus leaving Midgard on a quest to save the last surviving giants, and Kratos staying behind to help rebuild the Nine Realms. While no future game has been confirmed, the story of God of War finally has a chance to step out of Kratos' shadow and expand to allow Atreus to take the helm. Of course, this would mean that future games will likely be very different, since Atreus is still learning what it means to be a god and a giant, and his path to discovery could unlock new powers he never imagined he would have. I personally am sad to see Kratos go to the background of the God of War series, but I'm also very curious to see where Atreus' journey is gonna go in future games. If there are gonna be any future games. But let's be real, there are gonna be future games. Yes, I've said it, and I know you've thought it too. And if you haven't already, why not say it as well? Let us know in the comments down below. See, now, that's how you're supposed to do it. You know, you lure people into this false sense of curiosity, and then boom! You have them comment. Now that is pure art, ladies and gentlemen. Now, since I've shared this magical secret with you, all I ask in return is a like and a subscription if you haven't already. And make sure your granddaughter is subscribed as well. I know our target audience. Thank you. Bye-bye.